right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to say it. It's good to say it. Good to get it out there. Feels right. Welcome back to Greenbox Gaming.
Back in the driver's seat.
Back in the driver's seat.
I did not consent.
It's too late. You're in here. We're going. Welcome back. Greenbox Gaming plays Delta Green Impossible Landscape. This is going to be our little kind of session 0-ish for our go-between between Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 of Impossible Landscapes. This is going to be our Episode 0. I am joined by my friends, Brad, playing Hank Ellis.
Did you say landscapes?
I thought I
couldn't let it
common
pass.
courtesy not to interrupt the GM when he makes shitty mistakes. Like he has to say so many words, like he's gonna stumble over some shit. It's fine, Brad. We're playing Impossible Landscapes. Just roll with it. Yes, and
I noticed when I did it, and I thought for a moment, is one of these chuckle fucks gonna have something to say? And then nothing
you can
happened.
Rest assured.
I am
Brad is the chuckle fuckiest of the chuckle fucks
of
tonight.
them all. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the chuckle fuckiest of them all? It's Brad. Anyway, Gian playing Benedict.
Hi. Let's chuckle fucky. Hello.
And of course, Dace playing Benji.
Middling on the chuckle fuckiometer.
Is that?
Wow.
Ooh, do we not have a better word for it?
No, that's
Chuckle
you wanna try a word, Joe?
Chuckle
No.
fuckdar?
No, I no, that's how you detect chuckle fuckiness, is with your chuckle
Okay.
fuckdar.
Chuckle fucktogram.
Okay,
I'll keep going.
Well, this went off the rails. Oh, I said the rolls. So you see what I'm doing?
Oh,
It's one of those.
the carbs. Too many carbs.
Too
We're
many
off the rolls. We got to get off those carbs. All right.
All right.
You were saying?
Yeah, you gotta take the reins here. You're out of practice, dude.
Yeah, I say you guys are just running all over me. Yeah. Well,
We're
today
just gonna keep going.
I figured that we would just kind of take this opportunity to do two things. One, kind of reflect on the Christmas one-shot we did. I figured we'd do that real quick. Like, real quick. If you haven't listened to our D&D Christmas one-shot that we did, go back. Listen to it. It's like 4 hours of just... It's something. It's something, all right. I think we can
Certainly
all...
Most unhinged, masochistic.
You want to see these guys at the most
Masochismus.
unhinged.
Is that the festival that masochists celebrate?
Masochismus. But so I figured we'd do that, and then we'll get into Impossible Landscapes. So how about that? So Christmas one shot. How'd you guys like that? How was it?
I think Gian
10 out
should
of 10.
answer first.
fucking the best.
'Cause it's
The
first
best in-person D&D is so good. So good, in
good.
fact, that I'm trying to like claw back some in-person D&D right here, right now.
Yeah.
Should we just play another session right now?
Just right
You
now.
have something locked and loaded?
I'm afraid I could pull one out of my ass. Yeah, because Jean and Dace are both in Gatlinburg in person, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, sitting outside in the cold, away from their families, where they belong. So,
Can't even refute that.
Yeah, okay, nothing to say.
Yeah, no, that's the truth.
Entirely accurate.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, how does it feel to get back into the fantasy world again, the D&D, you know?
Man, optimally, if we could find a way to just like vacillate, or rather oscillate in between Delta Green and fantasy settings, like
Yeah.
it did feel really great to get back into it. Not that
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying Delta Green by any means, but that would just be like the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it'd also be
Well,
like
I'd-
mind-breakingly hard.
Disagree. I would like to vacillate between the two.
Okay.
Specifically.
Vascular.
Fucking
Let's work out real hard, get our veins pumping, and then oscillate in between TTRPGs.
Well, nobody
Brad, do
asked
you have
me, but I
anything
thought it was
to
great.
on.
Yeah, do you have anything besides lip Brad, would you like to, do you have anything to actually add?
I
That's
thought
why
it was
nobody asked you.
I thought it was an appropriate next step in the arc that is the one shot.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, right off the bat, huge props to you, Joe, for the
Yep.
world building. Like
Mhm.
the idea
Mhm.
of this hellscape that was contained and forgotten. Like it makes me think of the like old sewers in New York City that are just like paved over now,
Right.
which is, I don't know, that's where my mind goes, but that's just like old forgotten shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
it's
there's
just
like, God, what? There was a movie I saw that was all about these guys going into the catacombs under Paris and like going into like an upside down hell world. Like they descended down through hell and then into like a reflected version of the real world, and that's where they popped out.
And
I can't remember the name of it.
I'll say this: it is. Went to the catacombs like 3 years ago, and you go down far, like below the subway,
Yeah.
and you can literally. I did not do this, but you could touch the fucking skulls. Like no one's sitting there watching. Like there's just skulls lined up.
You can just
And
touch
you could, like,
Sure,
still-
I didn't do this.
This Brad just like.
You could like still.
He's making biscuits like a cat. with
Like I'm
skulls.
not joking. You could like take a skull, bring it back to your house, put a candle inside of it.
He's like, it's like that
And, like,
scene from
prayer.
Lion King where the hyenas are playing the skulls like a set of drums.
That was Brad on his trip to the catacombs.
But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
but yeah, that's like part of that
It was
is
a good
the
world.
it's and that was all stuff that I've had in the back of my head for a long time. But yeah, I was
So did you? Okay, I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But there was a big bad, obviously something that we had to fight then. So how much of that was homebrewed, and how much of that was taking from an actual monster from the manual?
are you talking about the wall of flesh at the end?
Yeah.
So I didn't even have a name for it. The wall of flesh. The name originally, it was just going to be this thing, but there's actually a boss in the game Terraria, which is literally
yeah.
a wall of flesh, and that's where the name came from. That just kind of out of nowhere.
Mm.
But most of it I came up on my own. One of the things I'm a really big fan of doing, especially in games like, don't get me wrong, Delta Green, the handler's guide has creatures. It has entities, and they have stat blocks. And in D&D and most other games have entire books of just creatures. One thing I'm a real big fan of is just taking a creature and reskinning it, just using the same stat block and just theme it different. It's like, and that's like as far as like DMing goes, like I've done that all the time, like to come up with something that I want. It's like, man, I really think there should be a creature here, and it needs to be about challenge rating 8, in order to be, in order to work. But there's nothing that fits the theme. So what?
So
Yeah.
Speaking of the one shot, we're here with Robert as well. Is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners, Robert?
About the one
The
shot.
player of
Over here is the mic.
the player of Polo Marco.
Yeah. I hope that picked up on your local recording because it was too
Yeah.
shrill.
It sounded like
That's
you
Robert,
entered the
everybody.
Matrix.
Give a hand
Dude,
for
this-
my brother Robert. Polo Marco. There he goes.
Polo Marco himself. But yeah,
It was really good having another player in the mix as well. Like,
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Four is a good number. I don't know. Like I think 4 for
I
especially
think
for D&D.
that is a sweet spot for D&D. Like
Yeah.
just going to Skystone, I can't imagine how bogged down those combat situations would have been with 5 people.
Right.
It's doable.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you have 5 people, I think they all need to be on their toes and like, this is what I'm doing, each round for it to like go smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like a graph though, or if you could picture a graph, it's like 3 players is optimal in the scheduling
yes.
sector,
Yeah.
and when you add another
Just
player,
one more
like
becomes
the
a
scheduling becomes exponentially more difficult.
True.
But I do think it does add to the gameplay.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
these are things we have to take
It was
into
fun.
account.
Yeah.
We just bring an NPC along. Like that was also one
But-
of my best
Like
Okay.
parts
Steve.
of it.
Like
Yeah,
Steve.
Here's
Joe should
the-
just work
Bringing
harder.
Steve.
Here's the fun
I
thing
should
about
just
the
do
one
harder.
shot. Specifically, I because our characters are so fucked up and selfish.
Fucked up.
That I personally, if we were playing Delta Green, I'm not gonna necessarily, well, because of the repercussions of the fucking world, I'm not gonna just like off an NPC. But at the one shot, obviously, we had no qualms about
Yeah.
offing
No consequences.
one of the NPCs because honestly, I didn't say I didn't like him. I kind of liked him, but still.
I remember just the cry that went out from
Jessica.
from Jessica and
Yeah.
from Gabby when Steven died. They were really upset about it, the whole thing.
They got too attached.
Yeah.
Yes,
He was
the character
great.
detached.
He did not deserve it, but I mean, you created
Not
the
at
world,
all.
Joe. You created a
So it's really my fault.
merciless world. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is really good to be able to dip your toes back into fantasy. I miss it. I miss it sometimes. But the whole reason we started to do Delta Green is because we kind of had gotten our fill of fantasy. You know, that was just, and that's why it appealed.
Brad's fantasy custard was simply too rich.
It was too.
We needed a palate cleanser.
It was too rich.
We needed, if I may, the wasabi of Delta Green.
The ginger.
When-
The ginger.
Oh,
Yeah.
is the ginger that
Yeah,
cleanses
you're
the palate?
using wasabi wrong.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's not what wasabi's for.
You're not
It's
supposed to
just like-
put wasabi up your butt after you
rolling down
finish
his nose
a
after
sushi roll?
every sushi roll.
Yeah, I just imagine him putting on his finger and like scrubbing his mouth with it.
In the eye.
Yeah.
It'll get you fucked up if you put enough in there. It's like nutmeg.
Yeah, that's what dying feels like. It feels a lot like being fucked up.
Feels like nutmeg.
But yeah, it was a great time, and man, just being able to play together in the same room. Oh, God,
Yeah.
There's nothing better
no
tabletop role playing
replacement.
than. That was your first time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like playing in person, John?
Yeah. Yeah, all together.
Yeah.
It was
It's
good.
just so
Something
fun.
special.
Get some
Honestly,
snacks.
only my third time or so.
Yeah, we did the entirety of Skystone.
You should get up more.
Yeah,
Brad.
right.
He says to the other D&D player.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, like I would love to, like I had some people I go to school with who were like, oh yeah, you DM, you should DM a game, and we could all play together, and I'm like, no, I'm already doing one. Someone else needs to lift that
fully
weight.
stacked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just too much.
I think Dace is up next.
Yeah,
I actually
Dace
am
is
up
definitely
next.
up next.
he is definitely up next. Yeah.
And it keeps me up at night. It makes me sweat when I think about it. I get extremely nervous.
Totally ready
Well,
for
what would you want to
that.
do?
I would like to do one of two things. I'd either like to do a D&D campaign set in Eberron, because I think it really aligns with the world that I've made, like my own independent world.
Right.
Like there's arcane magic that is like kind of sort of simulates like electricity or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want like awesome vaporwave Japanese cities and like cool
Ooh.
shit like that.
Cyberpunk Red is a game too, right? I just,
Dude, I'm just so lazy. I don't want to learn a new game.
That's also fair.
I
feel way
actually-
more comfortable with D&D. And then go ahead, Brad.
No, I was just saying, like, I honestly think D&D 5e. I know there's some complaints that it's a little too light on the rules, but it's honestly set up to where you can make any kind of game you want. Like, you can homebrew the shit out of whatever you want. You can make a Delta Green version of 5e if you
100%.
wanted to.
Yeah.
I have
And that's-
considered it.
That is when we were running my campaign, and we only had like a couple episodes or sessions in my campaign, but I had like 5 different cities plotted out, and essentially every different city was a different feel, and one of them was like Delta Green horror, and
Like noir.
Jesus, you did a lot
one
of
was
planning.
Mar. Yeah, I was like super into it.
You did 5 fucking cities.
Dude, we love. Man.
Yeah. I mean, I
It's just,
definitely want to get back to Heavy Hand. I thought that character was my magnum opus. The best.
I'm
I thought Toad was your magnum opus.
Toad was so good.
He was like a
He was a simple
No.
man.
no.
A simple man. Let's put it that way.
We should, Brad, can you give a description of Toad for the listeners?
In 3 words or less.
I don't know about that.
In
As-
1.5
as-
words.
As Toad.
1.5 words or fewer.
As Toad.
No.
No,
I
okay.
cannot.
No, there you go.
Damn it.
There.
So he was like a morbidly obese monk, and he could barely speak. I think he was illiterate, but he had like super high on wisdom. So he wasn't like dumb. He was just very special.
Poorly
he was
bred.
a special boy.
But he also didn't have like he's also missing like a lot of his memory, like your classic main character who doesn't have memory. And there was this thing where he could eat anything. Like his jaws would unhinge like a snake and he would could devour literally anything.
Well, that
Like
came to your
from,
like homebrew situation, Joe. I think you gave us a boon of sorts.
Yes.
Where each character had something special they could do.
Yeah.
And I want to do it within rules. I was like, okay, obviously I don't want this. It's already ridiculous. He can swallow anything. I won't say he can like swallow a dragon and one shot a dragon. But like, let's say an item or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It fit the backstory.
Wasn't your inspiration for that the one of the characters from Full Metal Alchemist?
Oh yeah, it was Gluttony.
Oh, look wise actually.
Gluttony?
Yeah.
Mm.
He's like a super fat, weird dude that's also can fight. Yeah.
And like surprisingly effective.
He was very good. What was the other idea you were saying you wanted to run besides your
The other
Eberron?
idea, despite the fact that I said I don't want to learn another system, it would be Blaze in the Dark.
Oh yeah.
That's the system that it's just so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And
Well, we've
What
talked
is
would
that?
actually. Yeah, we talked about it before. I believe we talked about it on sanity checks before.
Yeah.
It's Can you give a succinct
I
description
probably
of
asked
it?
the same question again.
So it's like a fantasy kind of steampunkish kind of feel. Imagine like a dark Victorian kind of city, where it's like outside the city walls, like a wasteland full of ghosts and undead. And you play members of a gang. But one of the interesting things, and I think it was you who said this, Dace, is like you play members of a gang. And you basically all run heists together, but the gang is as much of a character as the characters are. Like the gang is an entity that you're trying to succeed and like get bigger and get more powerful. And one of the big differences is that you don't plan any of your heist ahead of time. You just go and do the heist, and then you have flashback scenes. Like imagine you're watching Ocean's 11, right?
Right.
And it's like there's all these, every now and then there's a flashback to where they stashed something they needed or, paid somebody off at the right time. You do the entire heist via flashbacks. And it's a very interesting mechanic.
Okay.
It's very fun. The person who runs it
Weird.
has to do it completely off the top of their head. It's very well known for you have to juke and jive. Like you have to really be able to come up with everything.
And that is the part that intimidates me. Like, I think with your level of GMing at this point, you'd be great at it. But at this point, I've got the least experience DMing or GMing out of all of us now. Now that John has done Reverberations.
That's just one though. Haven't you've done before?
Not as much as you think, maybe.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, he comes
So-
off as that kind of guy, doesn't he? That he had done a lot of that.
I talk like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just glad to be able to see you guys, be able to get in the... I had never been in the same room as Sean until
that's wild.
we did the
That
Christmas
is
one
wild.
shot.
I can't even. That's so.
I also
Historic
haven't
occasion.
I also haven't lived in the South for a long time. So that's
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. But yeah,
It was good though.
it was
We need to
good.
do it again.
It was a great time. Yes, absolutely. Well, do you guys want to talk about some Delta Green?
Patreon stretch goal biannual
Ooh.
in person.
Biannual,
D&D two-shot.
dude, that'd be great. I would love to.
All
do
that money's going to flights. And
just
pizza.
to flights,
Flights
Yeah.
and pizza.
flights and lodging.
That's all we need.
We'll publish the receipts. We'll make it public.
And the Taki
yes.
rolls.
The Taki rolls. Oh man. So,
Yes.
do you guys
Delta Green.
do you
Delta
guys
Green.
remember? Do you guys remember what happened at the end? What happened at the end? What do you guys remember?
I would like a recap.
Fucking clowns, man.
Fucking.
I would like a
clowns.
recap.
Okay, we'll do a recap. We'll do a recap real quick. I'll do it. So, the guys, having originally been put together back in 1995 to investigate the disappearance of an artist, Abigail Wright, in New York City, they finally kind of figured out at the end of that Abigail Wright is lost. She is gone, and we don't think there's a way to get her back right now. And they burned down the apartment building, because that's what you do. That's how you contain the situation. They contained the situation. 10 years later, they were summoned into Boston for another mission to look into the disappearance of some agents from an insane asylum. Turned out, I'm not sure if you guys had realized this, and I'll just put it out there right now. You guys never found any evidence that these people really existed. Just
No.
saying.
They would.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that, honestly.
Yep.
You guys never had any evidence that those people existed.
They did. There was evidence that they disappeared, though.
Yes, there's
There's evidence that something was cleaned up in the room.
yes, there's evidence
Right.
that something had happened, but that's
In the room.
that's all you
Yes.
guys had evidence of. You were summoned to look into
Okay.
their disappearance. It turns out, though, you were not summoned by Delta Green. You were actually summoned by the insanity that is Dr. Bartis. He seemed to have been kind of pulled in to the madness of the King in Yellow and of Carcosa. You guys disposed of him and then went on a trip to Las Vegas to kind of track down another vector, this Ophelia Ch3. All of this off the back of this name, Michael Whitwer, who was a Delta Green agent you guys encountered in 1995. You tracked down Ophelia, broke into her house, killed a tiny killing machine via an IED, blew up her house. And
Lots of explosives.
Lots of explosives. Took her, interrogated her, gave her to Delta Green. Oh, in the meantime, you had brought Marcus, your old handler, back into the fold to assist with operations. You'd been assigned a new operation by, God, I can't remember her name now. B-Cell, the B-Cell woman.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
I can't remember her name. Anyway, you guys were assigned that mission after meeting with high-level Delta Green people. You went back to Ophelia Ch3's house, went to the tunnel, almost died. And then at the end of it, you guys went back to Boston. You went back to Boston and were put back on, back on the trail. Like, now you need to find out what else is going on. You knew there was something going on in the asylum. You went into the asylum and got sucked into the night world. As patients of the Dorchester
Kicking and
House.
screaming. We got abducted. Let's be clear. We
Let's
got abducted.
Let's be very
into the
clear.
night world.
You guys got tranked into the night world, basically.
Wait, what world was that?
The night
Tranked?
world. Tranked?
Tranked.
Like,
What word is that? Sorry,
like
it's not world.
tranquilized?
Oh, okay.
Tranked.
Yeah, we're running up the stairs, and then there was some weird shit with, wait, this floor doesn't really exist, and then these guys came out of nowhere
Yeah.
and blackout.
Well, that was the thing. The second you guys entered the Dorchester facility at night, it was already too late.
Mm.
You guys were pulled into the night world. You made a lot of weird discoveries in there. You met Asa Darabandi. You met this weird doctor. You met this weird patient called Sunshine. You saw there's this weird stuff being pulled out of people. This Patzu. You saw, there was actually one instance in which you saw something strange. You saw a masked man run down a hallway and open a door, and you saw Abigail Wright, and one of you had posited, did we cause that? Did we cause that man to run down there and run into Abigail Wright? Eventually, you guys went to group therapy, where you had an interesting interaction with Dr. Friend, where you saw him exalted and like in his royal finery, but I'm sure it was all just hallucination. Eventually, you guys were taken. So, oh, you need to go meet with King Baal. You had to make your way through the library, and eventually, you, after being stalked by the paper tiger, you guys summoned a demon. You summoned King Baal himself, and lo and behold, there he was, Timothy Baal, the same Timothy Baal that you guys had found records of previously. He guided you into the theater and told you that you have to drink the patzu after you guys watched the performance, let's say, of the dancing clown with the dragon. He drank the patsu and disappeared, which apparently woke up the dragon or woke up the clown, and you guys spent the rest of the time trying to evade. Hank taking the forefront, taking the charge, leading the charge as he always does, was so close to being killed instantly. So close. Like, you do not know. Like, the math was not in your favor. I think I calculated it, and I think there was like an 80% chance that you would have died instantly. And you just
brave or dumb? Brave or dumb?
I mean, it was in character. It was in character. I would argue.
It was totally in character.
It was a very. What would you say, Brum and Dave? Is it Brum or Dave?
Brum and Drave.
Drave. Very Drave.
Very Drave.
But you guys eventually, I think Benji was the first one to escape by drinking the patsu, and then followed by Benedict. And last, just before he was again touched by this clown, crushed, Hank disappeared. You guys came into this house that looks like it's probably for sale or emptied out with all the furniture covered by sheets and things like that, with this demonic seal on the floor. And you guys are surprised to see this strange clockwork child clank out to you, this weird marionette with no strings, and present you with the letter from Abigail Wright. The one.
I forgot about that.
Yes, the one at the very, very end at the climax. Let's see. I'll read it again here real quick. Find J.C. Linz at Hotel Broad Alban. Go now. Find the hotel, the labyrinth, the author, the bottle, the city, the lake, its shadow, the battle, then the party, the dance, the girl in blue, the one singing. Nothing is true except out is through. Love and kisses, Abby.
Who do we think the girl in blue is? Do we think that's Abigail?
That's the first we heard that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But that was a huge mindfuck.
Well, and speaking of mindfucks...
No, not that, but I'm saying the beginning. All right, go ahead.
Well, speaking of mindfucks, that you guys, I think two of you had mental breaks in this room when all this happened.
Hank finally broke. He was literally 1 point away
for a long time.
For the entire chapter, I think.
Yeah.
And then, for some reason, a giant shape-shifting clown put him over the edge. I don't know how.
For whatever reason.
But,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
But now, yeah, I think he has paranoia.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun to wrangle you two. I have no clue how to think about how these characters are gonna get back to reality or whatever they've gotten back to, and how to carry on.
What is
there's
do you think reality is a problem? I mean, you guys made it back to Boston.
Yes, I think reality is a problem in this game. Definitely.
But you said okay. You said there's no evidence that the actual two inmates, not inmates,
patients,
clients, whatever, patients that went missing actually existed. So everyone in the hospital was insane or in on it, because obviously it was real to everyone we spoke to. Those patients were people to everyone we spoke to in this
playing
hospital.
Out some kind of the script.
Yeah. Well, you guys ran into something very similar, at the McAllister building in 1995, right? Where the influence seemed to just kind of infect people. you know. So
True, but not so much that these people didn't exist.
yeah,
Hmm,
who knows?
okay.
Maybe it's the kind of thing we can talk about one day after all of your characters have been consumed into the king, and
The rest, the other two characters, you mean? Because he's drinking Kool-Aid.
because Benji
Yeah,
is
Didn't even
in.
hesitate.
I was just thinking about like his mentality and how he would, like, us as players are like constantly analyzing everything, but I think Benji is more of the mentality of like when you read a really dense fantasy novel and they just drop you in media res and you don't understand everything that's going on, but you just kind of go with it, like expecting that the answers will be, or the questions will be answered eventually.
Right.
That's probably his mentality. He's just like following the leads. What's next? What's next? Get closer to the source. Get closer to the king in yellow.
Yeah. And it all makes sense eventually, I'm sure.
Because that's how this game works.
Yeah.
I think Benedict is gonna try and retire again.
Again.
Honestly, he's
Next
he's gonna
episode.
try.
He's retiring.
He's retiring. I'm out of the game. I'm out of the game again.
I'm too old for this shit.
I've got an interesting idea for chapter 3. What if we all swap characters?
I don't know. That could be interesting.
Wow.
Oh, I'll be Benji.
And I'll be, what's your, God, I just forgot your
Hank.
character's name, Brad.
Hank.
And I'll be Hank. Ho, ho, ho. All my homeless sons. Old foghorn, leghorn bullshit.
It's very foghorn leghorn.
Leghorn.
That's good. Oh God, yeah, that's good.
Wait, and then you're
Do
just
me.
gonna be.
Do me.
Do
Roast
my-
me. Who's doing me?
You're still stuck with Gian. You're still
I'm
stuck
stuck.
with
Wait, no, I've got it. I'm gonna be the handler. Joe's gonna be Benedict.
Okay, yeah.
Nailed
Top of the morning. Is that what he sounds like? I don't know.
Irish.
Wait, it's a British accent. That's right, not Irish.
Hi, Papua New Guinea.
Oh, Papua New Guinea. Who's that sitting
The
on
worst
Michelle's face? Give us a kiss.
what the
That's Benedict. That's basically Benedict.
Wow, I have not portrayed the characters I've intended.
Oh man. I wonder.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys, and so first of all, would you guys like to know the title of chapter 3?
Yes.
Here,
I'm assuming that's not gonna give anything away.
No,
So like,
Well, what were the previous titles? Remind us.
India Moon.
no, you're wrong. You're wrong, and you should feel bad.
What? Don't you fucking gaslight me.
I'm not good. Well, the first one was Night Floors, right? And
Yeah.
I didn't tell you guys the name of that because the Night Floors is a very important thing to find out about. So, first one was Night Floors. The second one was a volume of secret faces.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh, so India Moon was just the
That was the
code
mission
name that
name,
Barbas
yeah,
gave us.
yeah.
That was the mission Barbas gave us.
Oh
Ruse.
shit.
The
Okay.
ruse, a clever ruse.
Ruse.
Cayuse.
The third one is named Part 3, Like a Map Made of Skin. I'm gonna
Jesus.
Wow.
show this to you here.
Wow.
Will this show up? Hold on, I gotta.
Blurry.
You
It's
put
not
it next to your
focused.
face. Bring your face real close. And
Wait,
then put
let
it
me
next
just,
to your
let me just
face.
get rid of the blur on the screen so you guys can actually.
I like my solution better.
I'll just put my face in
Let's
front
put
of
the
So we
skin
can
mat
see
next to
your
Joe's
real life
face.
murder map in the background.
it. Yeah,
It's just our faces with the eyes scratched
And
out.
his murder room. What's all that plastic doing hanging on your walls?
Like a,
Could you just turn to the
Map
next
made of
page for
skin.
us?
and
wait.
then the other one. And then the
And
next
then
one.
well,
just
this is
end
the
of
image.
chapter
This is the image on
5.
the other side.
Oh wow. Oh, that's horrifying.
It's just like a bloody face kind of.
It's
thing?
got like
No,
googly
It's a
eyes
gas
on
mask.
Gas mask.
it. Oh, okay. I saw googly eyes.
Mm.
Okay,
And a
this
fire.
is this is a Rorschach test
Yeah.
on this resolution.
It's hard to see on this resolution. Well, and what it says here, it has out to the side. It has a quote here from the King in Yellow. Casilda, that which hunts makes us whole. Camilla, sister, sister, stave off this melancholy. Casilda, death is a song of sorts, sung by all but once. So yes.
Wow, that's incredibly vague bullshit.
Yes. So yeah. So but I have a question for you guys about this.
They're all freshman English majors.
Right. So here's a so there isn't going to be so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about this next chapter. This next chapter is there's not going to be years. It's not going to be 10 years between. In fact, it's not even going to be a single day. We're picking up right where you guys end in the abandoned house. We're picking right up. There are no home scenes. There is no going to therapy. There is no staying on the case. There's none of that. There's no connecting with nature. It's not happening. None of it. Like you guys,
We're just going straight back into this.
you guys are your characters
room
are
where we
going
just
straight
came out of
back into it.
psychosis.
Yep, that's exactly
That's
what's
cruel.
going on. So, but the thing is when you guys come back out, not only have you learned a lot of new things, your characters, but you are different too. And there are going to be some things that are a little different about you. And I have
Bigger
Let's-
dicks.
All right, thanks for joining us for Greenbox Gaming.
That's the cliffhanger.
You guys are changed too, and there are some changes that can happen. Now, the way these changes are, like a lot of games, these changes are on a list, and you can roll dice for them, or I can assign them as I think are thematically appropriate to your characters. And what do you guys think? What do you guys want? Like, I've gotten some flack on Reddit for making you guys a part of this discussion because I'm the handler and I should just do what I want. But that's unfair. That's
Fuck that.
yeah.
Fuck them.
Give us their names. I'll beat them up.
Let's dox them.
I made that sound a lot worse than it did. They were not rude about it. I didn't think. But
Okay.
this is how I like to do it. I like to make you guys a part of this. So like, what do you guys think?
What kind of changes?
Honestly,
What are we talking
It's
would
about?
not. It's not very important.
Well, okay.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Let's
so
roll
you're doing
for it.
that handler thing that you do when you say something, and I think you mean another thing.
I don't know why you think it was important.
I think, given how we've leaned into the roleplay side of things and the characters, we have to just go with thematic. I don't think we should roll for stuff that's gonna be thematically on point and make the story better. I think you have to choose. That would be my vote. Or we just lean into some randomness. But I think
Well, I
the
mean,
theme
randomness
thing
is
appeals.
kind of it's kind of the insanity of the game as well. In a way. I don't know.
So do I get really good at guitar?
No,
And shooting guns.
No, your dick
and
gets
keeping
bigger.
homeless people in my
I think this late into the game, like, sure, random rolls can lead to really interesting results, but I don't know. Trust you as a handler, and I think I kind of want to put that into your hands and then play off of whatever constraints you give me.
Benji's dick gets smaller. Okay.
Oh, fuck that. We're rolling. Strike the records. We're rolling.
Yeah, I don't trust you at all. I want to roll.
Okay, there you go. Well, I mean,
So we're
well, the thing is I like Brad more, so he gets 3 votes.
Okay.
This seems as fair as I think the games are in the background.
Right. Oh no, Brad, do you have an actual opinion, or is it just quips tonight?
Uh,
What was that?
wow.
Fuck.
Okay.
Cheek fuckery. Fuck cheekery.
Chuckle fucker.
Well, I
Chuckle
want to know.
fuckery.
I want to know what we're deciding. I want to know what I stand to gain, Joe. What are we deciding on?
You
Oh, he's a
Do
good
you
negotiator.
ever stand to gain anything
In
What is
Delta
the-
Green?
What is the coin flip?
there is a coin. There is a good side and a bad side to that coin, and
Oh.
it's gonna be that way, kind of no matter what.
What
No
if
kidding.
Joe rolls for all of us? So Joe's deciding, but he's also rolling.
Me?
Is it really as simple as it a 50-50 thing?
No. More
Okay.
complicated
It's just
than that.
lies. It's just lies and deception.
Let's see what
Gaslighting.
happens with John's character, and then we'll decide.
I go first? Like, push me in front of the train?
Benedict will be the canary in the coal mine.
Okay, wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Will these traits continue or apply to any subsequent characters if one of our characters happens to get vaporized by a cloud?
No, they'll probably give you that one a different one if something happens.
Okay, alright. Just some different psychosis. Yeah.
Well,
No,
I
I
mean,
think-
I'm outvoted 2-1, so I'm fine with doing the.
No, you're-
you choose.
You get more votes though.
Yeah, because you have 3
You're-
votes.
We're outvoted
Yeah.
3-2
Because you.
because you're Joe's favorite
Well, let's
baby
get to
little
rolling.
boy.
Oh, we're rolling now?
I don't know. Well,
We could do that now if you're
That's
prepared
kinda
to.
cool.
That
no,
would
well,
be fun.
the way it happens is that you guys are coming out changed, but those changes may not be completely apparent right now. So
Okay.
it'll
So
come
it's
out.
like a thing. If we choose to roll, then we roll. You make a note of what we roll.
Yep.
And then let's do that.
So what you're telling me is we can't have fun.
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
This is.
And not only
this is-
can you not, that I'm going to go out of my way to make sure you have the opposite of fun.
Okay.
What does it say about us as humans that we're still playing this game with you?
I said that you're masochist? I don't know.
This feels like Secret Santa. Can we just do Secret Santa instead?
Ooh,
Do you want to choose them for each other?
And then, and then we can choose to steal one.
Nice.
You get a big dick. No, you get the bigger dick.
I'm gonna take your big dick.
Oh,
I'm
but
gonna
now-
steal that big dick.
But now your dick is too big.
You can only steal twice.
Still
size.
twice. Okay, well, I think I've got the info I need. I'll go through and I'll kind of thematically.
So,
I'll use some.
wait. So what you're pretty much creating is a game mechanic where we have something that's happened. There's
Uh-huh.
evidence that it happens, and then the consequences come later.
Yeah, so that's you.
And we have no agency in this
Mm-mm.
entire game.
Nope.
Unless you roll.
In terms of
He gave you
game
the chance to roll.
I gave you the
John,
chance to
y'all
roll,
chose-
Jean, and you
2-9.
you didn't want to roll.
Has the game gone? Did we play it? It's done. I fucking feel like I'm
roll
lost.
to win Delta Green.
It's very cold outside.
I stand by my initial decision. You know the most interesting choice for Benji, and you know what I'm gonna have the most fun playing.
Mm.
So I want you to choose it.
Okay.
And least fun.
yes.
Slash least fun.
yes. Yeah, I think I've got a pretty good idea then. Well, I mean,
All right.
okay, so
This is a personality test.
this is what this really is. Well, and here's a good question. So let's say here, this clockwork child has come, and by the time you guys read this invitation from Abigail and you look up, it's gone, just like it was never there. You guys are, the 3 of you are freshly out. 2 of you are freshly out of psychosis of some sort, and you're all here in this. I'm like, and you can hear cars driving by outside on the street. Like, you might even like peek through the curtains and you look to be kind of like in a little suburb, and you see a little house for sale sign out front. What is going through each of your heads? What are you feeling? Like, how is each of us feeling? How's Benji feeling?
Isn't Benji coming out of a psychological break? Wasn't he
Yes.
like catatonic?
Yeah, so like when you come kind of out, that's when you guys saw the Clockwork Child. So you've had just enough time to kind of take that in after your catatonia.
Yeah. Now that he's back in the real world, he's probably like going through withdrawal.
Okay. Like you look out the window and like you see like, maybe there's like some kids ride by on their bicycle and it's like too normal.
Too normal. Yeah. Well, withdrawal from the night worlds and also like all of the substance abuse that he partakes in the physical world.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I forgot about that.
yeah. Hasn't been a factor for a while because we've been in this kooky.
You've been in the night
At
world.
least that's how I've decided to play it. I don't know if that's actually.
Well, we'll see. Okay, so I'll ask you this because when you guys come back, you come back with everything that you had, like all your equipment, all your clothes that you had when you went to the Dorchester facility. When Benji went to the Dorchester facility, did he have a bottle of Xanax in his pocket? Did he have drugs on him?
I'm going to say more than likely.
Okay.
I can't think of a reason why he wouldn't.
Then I'd say you have them now. That if Benji, comes out of the night world, comes out of his catatonia, and he starts having the shakes, you have enough for right now.
Yeah, he just looks out the window and sees kids playing, and he just like numbly reaches into his pocket, takes out a couple pills, and just like staring at the kids with dead shark eyes.
I imagine like a very true detective like looks out the window and just kind of narrows his eyes and goes, and then pops a pill. like don't trust it for a second. Yeah, well, I mean, okay, what about Hank?
Yeah, I think what was happening last time, he's being kind of reserved. As far as what's going on with him and just kind of like keeping to himself because I guess this is his first basically psych break essentially.
Yeah.
And outside of that, maybe some things are getting a little blurred. I mean, was his son JJ? Was it Junior? Is that his son's?
Yeah.
Stuff like that going on.
Well, yeah, like he's
what I would imagine.
Well, and then even, I think that out of all of you, I think, I think Hank is typically Hank has been the most grounded, like up to this point.
Thus far.
He's been very much like, we just got to find Abigail. We got to take care of the girl. Like, it's very much, he's had that focus. And here, I don't know, in Benedict,
But I mean, out of all the, it's all spectrum, but I mean, out of all the breaks, he has specifically paranoia.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily lend itself to a focused state of mind.
Yeah. Well, and you got to think paranoia takes a lot of flavors, right? Like it could be paranoia like, well, can I trust these people? Or it could be, are these people real?
External.
Right.
Right.
So I think that's what I would say. He's a little bit reserved even to his companions here until the note comes around. Then maybe he warms up to what's going on.
Right.
But maybe his backstory is getting blurred, like I said, with his bonds at this point.
Well, keep in mind
God
too.
dang, Hank! Did your dick get bigger too?
He has to constantly
sitting there.
He has to constantly check his dick size. He's paranoid that it's gotten shorter.
Look inside your drawers, Hank. Something's changed.
This would be just so distressing if these three men just wake up after this psychotic episode.
And just immediately all pull down their pants.
All of them are just like, oh, did your dick get bigger?
Well, let's take a look. Well, I mean,
fuck you, Art Dream.
fuck
Take that.
fuck the seriousness of this atmosphere. Well, I mean, so, but yeah, he's like where Hank was always the one who kind of had it together, and then what has it been like for Benedict to watch these two? Because like Hank was over there in the corner, just like, it's not real, you're not real, like for a minute, like not believing anything, and then Benji is just over there drooling for a little while. Like, what is it like for Benedict to be in this situation?
God.
That's interesting.
Can I
'cause
ask,
he would be the most
how-
sane
how-
person in
yeah.
this moment.
Yeah.
how many points away are you from a break?
I can't remember. I
Hold
don't
on,
think
I
I
might
lost
be able
that
to
much
pull you up.
sanity.
I don't know if I have access to your.
Let me see.
But regardless, I think
don't have
this is
access.
what I'm struggling with. It's like he is, by definition, the most sane out of everybody. But for a long time, in his rational mind, he's been questioning the reality of everything, in a very non-insane way.
Right.
So I don't know if we're going to be able to discern. Like, if we were narrating this experience, which we kind of are, but if we were spectating this experience, it would start to question whether the insane people are the sane people, the insane person is the insane one, because nothing's matching up. There's a 2-to-1 vote on what sanity is, and
Yeah.
you've just come out of this fucking catatonic experience that nothing ended up being real, possibly.
Mm.
So I'm actually confused. I don't know how this can play out, but there's a lot of space for it to be interesting. I don't know. I don't know how to answer how Benedict is. He's probably very fucking confused, like I am right
Yeah.
now.
Well, and you guys even coming out of the night world, coming out of the Dorchester. And remember, you were at the Dorchester, then you traveled through the library, and then you went to the theater. And to get from the library to the theater, you had to travel back through what was essentially the night floors. Like, you saw, and you even let Ham go in the night floors. Like, and to presumably meet you in 1995. It's like, you guys still have, and when you were put in the Dorchester in the night world, you guys had this other set of memories. This other set of memories that you had been in here for 20 years. So you still have echoes of that life in the Dorchester. You still have, like, they seem a lot less
That's
real
where,
now.
like, if I was going to get super deep into it, from like who's had a little break and who hasn't, that's where like the difference probably would come into play to me. Gian, is like Benedict maybe has like some grasp on, you're watching a movie, that's a movie,
Yeah.
and you're sitting on your couch. That's reality. Maybe Jean or Benedict knows.
No,
like,
not Jean. Jean
okay.
doesn't know the difference.
John doesn't know. But maybe Benedict knows,
Sorry.
okay, this is something weird that happened, but that's not what's going on right now. That is something
Right.
weird that happened. And maybe Hank and Benji don't necessarily have that, it's split.
Yeah.
Maybe that is
Yeah.
what happened on. Maybe what's going on
Totally.
right now isn't what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the movie where Benedict has that grasp. Like, that was the weird thing. This is like what's happening now.
Yeah, that'd make a good conflict.
I think
Yeah.
I think what Benji is thinking, what maybe causes him to like numb his brain and take Vicodin or whatever, is like he immediately goes to like alternate realities and just like thinking, did we actually like plane shift or something? And he's trying to think about like what resources he can look at, like obscure bookstores, and just going straight to research. Like, that's his comfort thing.
Your occult is so high. You probably have a massive backlog of knowledge about alternate realities and moving between worlds and stuff, like occultic knowledge.
Yeah. So he's probably convinced that was real and it did happen, but where did it happen? Like, which timeline did it happen on, or something like that?
Does Benedict think that the night world happened? Does he think that the Dorchester and the library and the theater, does he believe that happened?
I think actually, I think he's gonna go back to his roots. Like, he was in that Daily Mail, he had all that access to absolute bullshit. Effectively, he was curating and editing bullshit.
Wow.
So at this point, maybe he's gone through all of this, and he is going to be coming from a perspective of like, this is just bullshit. I need to get to the
Interesting.
who is pulling our fucking leg,
Yeah.
or in how he would say it. No, he'd say it like that. Like who's actually fucking with us? Because it was first Marbus, and now there's something else. Like he maybe is gonna reach for the tool set to like try and solve this problem and debunk whatever bullshit is coming out of this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I
Like
think that's
using
where
his
you'll be.
journalistic skills to like cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Get rid of the fake news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting, like, Brad, what you'd said, like, that idea of, you know, sitting and watching a movie, but knowing that the movie's a movie. Like, you can be pulled into it, and, like, while you're watching it, like, you can be pulled into it, and that can be a part of your experience. But the second you look away from the screen, you realize it's not a movie. So, in a way, it's like, you guys, before all this happened, before everything happened, before Abigail Wright, before the McAllister, before 1995, your characters were like people sitting on a couch watching a movie, fully engrossed. That was your life. Your life was what was on the screen. But what's happened now is that your eyes have been pulled just a little bit to the side, and you've begun to see this is not real. There's something else out here. Or maybe you're watching a play. Your eyes have been pulled just to the side, or maybe you see just through the curtain just a tiny bit to see that what was in front of your eyes maybe wasn't as real as you wanted. It was, yeah, you experienced it, but maybe it wasn't all that's there. So I don't know, like, which is more sane.
There's some more channels.
There's other channels.
This is direct TV.
Yeah.
I see it as there's like a little zoom out. You know, when there's that first person perspective of somebody watching something and you're in that first person perspective. This is like a little jittery zooming out and you see the back of the person's head.
Yeah.
But that's the person seeing the back of their own head, but then it like jitters back into first person.
I think Dace had said something about Plato's allegory of the cave. Like, you guys are like
I remember that.
You guys are beginning to recognize, like, what we're seeing is not the whole story. It's, and the rest of the story isn't super good. Yeah. Well,
Can we opt out of the rest of the story? Has that?
yeah. Do you guys want to stop here? As
let's get some like
let's
ice
just
cream
call it.
as characters. Let's just get some ice cream and go back to our daily life
some ice cream.
and say fuck this
Yeah.
mystery.
Well, listen, like, I'll go ahead and tell you, like, like, say, you guys are just gonna pick up where you are in this house with all the evidence that's around you and with your lives, and you're gonna have to figure out what you do now. It's gonna be a little bit open here for a bit, and I'm excited to see kind of how it goes, and your characters having had this new experience and coming back to the quote unquote real world. I think it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. Like, we're more than a year in. We're probably a little more than half, maybe way done. We'll see how long it takes you guys to get through these next.
So there's
bits.
another chapter.
After 3, there's 4 chapters.
Oh fuck! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they thinking? Plays are free acts.
What are they
Bad
thinking? Yeah.
Tisk.
Yeah. How dare they? All right. Well, I mean, do you guys have anything else? I feel like we kind of laid the scene for chapter 3 here.
And
Yeah. I'm excited.
No, I'm excited.
I
I've
don't
got
know.
a couple ideas for what Benji might get up to, but we'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah. And if anybody were to, and like I said, I am very surprised no one died in chapter 2, just in general. Just, there were some good opportunities, just didn't connect. But
we're gonna get a high score, Joe.
you guys, it's going to be
Because
fucking
we're all
rad. But and you guys have backup characters, and there are ways that these backup characters can become a part of the story, which I'm ready to work with. And there's also Axel. If anybody, whoever, it's going to be first come, first serve for Axel.
Nobody can play
so
Axel.
did everybody-
Nobody can do him
So
justice.
everybody put Axel on their character sheet as backup character, like me.
Oh yeah. Just watch
No, I don't.
watch
no,
some
no.
80s wrestling,
veto
and
those.
you'll get all the
Macho Man Randy. Watch a bunch of Macho Man. The cream
No,
of the
I veto
cream
this.
of the crop.
No. We can't play Axel. Axel's He's part of the game. He's
That's
part of.
that's your IP, man.
Yeah.
We'd have to pay you royalties.
It's
if-
like
if we
telling
did
me
it.
I can go and play Steve now. I can't. That's your creation.
Oh, Steven. Oh,
And,
Well, I
and
don't
you,
know
and
if
you
I
have
want
to
to
live with that.
that's
fucking play Axel because he offed what's his name.
Yeah,
Y'all,
he's a fucking ruthless bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he gets the job
Yeah.
done. Which would be a welcome treat from your current characters.
Who's the
Okay.
chuckle fuck now?
All right.
All right. That seems like a good place to end it.
Well
and then, how about next week? How about we plan to get into it? Sound like a plan?
Yep, sounds good.
Game.
It
Cool.
does.
All right, everyone listening, everyone who's going to be watching, thank you very much for joining us. Not everyone's into session zeros, but here we are, nonetheless. If you really like what you're listening to, head on over to Patreon, support us so you can get your episodes a week early, get episodes all the sandy checks, which is just a good old-fashioned laugh, the sandy check. Gian says some really nasty stuff in there, which I thought were... I don't know. I know John personally, and some of the stuff he says in the sandy check, I just think he's trying to be mean.
Yeah.
So.
It's okay. I don't
Beneath
want Brad
him.
to hear it, but it's okay. He doesn't listen to it. It's
He's
fine.
he's pandering to the lowest common denominator. That's what he's
Watch.
doing. It's just
Watch how
shame.
monthly listens
I'm gonna listen
go
to
up
everything.
because of me.
Now.
But yeah, and our links, our Reddit is kind of our headquarters and everything. Hey, we really appreciate it. If you like this series, you want to tell a friend about it. And we really appreciate it if you head on to Apple or Spotify and leave us a positive review. It really helps us just get out there. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you, you two, for sitting out in the fucking cold while we have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
The warmth of your joy warms our bones. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
All right, it's probably time to end it.
Okay. Impossible landscapes. It's impossible.
Nice.
That's what warms you up. That's what gets you going. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
you guys, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me again. And we will catch you next time. Remember, everyone, stay safe and stay sane. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.